Hey, what's going on, CPAP Nation? Today I'm going to show you guys what a CPAP rental looks like, what the process is, what to watch out for, and I'm going to share with you my pro tips, tricks, and my golden rules going into 2021. Stay tuned, I'm going to get right into it. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit subscribe on the bottom right and hit notifications so you can get all the latest updates on all our newest videos. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm one of the owners of USA Medical Supply, respiratory therapist, and CPAP user for 10 years. I've gone through this process. I never understood the process from day one, and I got screwed through that process, paying outrageous bills month after month, in calling customer service where I could not get a hold of anyone. If you guys have any horror stories or you guys have any tips or tricks on your own for first-time CPAP setups to take, please put them in the comments section. Also, if you guys haven't joined CPAP Nation, always appreciated. If you guys give this a thumbs up and you share it, I appreciate that as well. And also, moving forward into 2021, I just want to say a special thank you to Philips Respironics and Fisher & Paykel. I will be highlighting their products in this video. And the reason being is that they really were the only two CPAP manufacturers that were there for our company, were there whenever we needed them, worked with us on everything from pricing to taking care of our customers, to fit packs for masks, to specials with CPAP machines, so we could pass that savings on to you guys. If you guys are looking to support two great companies that not only seem to make great CPAP products, but care about the community that they serve, please give Philips Respironics and Fisher & Paykel a chance if you have not done so. So let's get right into it. As we get into this, guys, it's important that you understand what HCPC codes are, because each CPAP item that you see that I show you is going to have a HCPC code, and that's primarily used for billing and identifying medical items and services. Your doctor uses it, the sleep study you got at the sleep center uses it for all the different aspects of whether it's medical services or medical products. That's what's used in the industry. And one of the wrong assumptions I've seen over the past 7 years on patients is that they assume that the provider dictates the amount they bill out to the insurance companies, Medicare or Medicaid. That is not the case. Most of the time, they are the ones who come out with the rate schedule, and they're billing according to contract. So if you're upset with how much is being billed out, that has to do with the insurance, Medicare or Medicaid agency. I can tell you that over the years, things have gotten a lot worse with reimbursement. It's getting harder and harder to survive in this industry because of Medicare competitive bidding and because third-party insurances usually follow Medicare rates. So people are looking for an overhaul in this industry as it affects everybody. Number one, there's not enough providers. And number two, that they're not providing you with quality products or services because the rate schedules are too low. And lastly, they may not take that insurance because the rates are too low. I've seen companies provide health insurance to their employees because of how cheap the insurance was, but they soon find out that there are very few places that actually accept that insurance because of that. So hopefully there is a overhaul in this entire industry that is fair for everyone. So let's get right into it. You guys go to your DME or HME provider, you're going to get a kit that looks somewhat similar to this. I'm going to be using a full face mask demonstration on this. And if you guys wear nasal pillows, a nasal mask, the codes will be slightly different. And let's explain the process. So one, for you guys who have a high deductible, high copay, you're going to have to price this out against paying cash out of pocket. Cash out of pocket almost wins unanimously against any contract with how everything adds up at the end of the day and the way the CPAP machine works as a rental. So always be price savvy with your insurance deductibles, copays versus cash. If you guys have an insurance that luckily pays for everything, then you really don't have to worry about that. So with that being said, when you do get set up, as I've always said, make sure you guys get a brand new machine. In other videos, I show how to check the blower hours. I show you what this should look like coming out of the bag in the box. Please watch those videos if you do not know how to check the blower hours, because the national compliance rate is 50%. So what happens to those machines? Either those people are forced to pay for them or they hand them back to their durable medical equipment provider, and these are called fleets, where they get switched around time over time from patient to patient. So don't be one of those people. Let's get right into this. So on your first bill, you're going to have two components of the CPAP machine that's billed out to you or your insurance company. So HCPC code E0601 is a CPAP machine. If you guys need a more sophisticated machine like a BiPAP or an ASV, it will have different HCPC codes, but for this demonstration we're going to do a simple CPAP. The heated humidifier component is E0562. Most insurances, usually Medicare, Medicaid, allow you to get one of these once every 5 years. They always do these as a rental, so typically it's a 10-month rental. However, the rentals can work anywhere from 3 months to 13 months I've seen in this industry, and you really have to understand that process. So even if you met your deductible, let's say you met your deductible for the year and it was going to reset next month, people make the mistake of thinking that they will not pay anything out of pocket because they got the machine before that deductible reset. That's not the case. CPAP always works month to month. You would be responsible for the next 9 months once your deductible resets. As far as tubing goes, you're going to get either heated tubing, which falls under HCPC code A4604, or you're going to get standard tubing, which is A737. So the tubing you can usually get every 1 to 3 months. I've seen 3 months being typical. I always recommend, guys, to go with heated tubing, because when you're using your humidifier, you want an even temperature from your humidifier through your hose to your mouth. That means that all the humidity is going to go to you directly versus causing condensation in a tubing that doesn't have a heated coil throughout. So the full face mask has several components. First being a cushion, which is HCPC code A7028, which most insurances allow one every month to 2 months. The full face CPAP mask without the headgear is HCPC code A7030. They break apart the components, and your headgear is HCPC code A7035, which is allowed every 6 months. It breaks down even further. For the humidifier tank itself, which is HCPC code A7046, which is usually allowed one time every 6 months. Then filters for the machine. There are 2 filters for the machine. A disposable filter, which is HCPC code A7038, and HCPC code A7039 for a reusable filter, which is allowed every 6 months typically. As you can see, guys, all the billing components for the machine, the mask, and the accessories can run up really high if you guys have a high deductible, if you have high copay, and you're running into a monthly rental program. So with that in consideration, you always have to price this out against cash, because so many people have been caught off guard with surprise billing, and there's legislation right now going into effect that hopefully that all these places have to disclose what they're going to charge you before they give you this equipment. There's nothing worse in this industry than getting all this equipment and getting a surprise bill a month to 3 months afterwards and having to pay. That's why I always read the fine print before signing anything. Happened to me. I want to make sure that it doesn't happen to you guys. So here are my golden rules going into 2021, guys. Number one, never give up. Just like last year, never give up. Remember the health consequences of not using your CPAP machine versus using it. It takes a while to get used to, and 50% of the people are still failing out there. And actually, I believe it's a lot worse because of COVID, because most people that I see, I talk to, and I do consulting with who come in here are telling me they're just handed a machine. They have no idea how to put it together. They have no idea how to use it. They were not educated properly on their equipment, so don't give up. If you're on this channel, then I know you're not going to give up. Always price out cash versus your contracted rates of what you're going to pay for out of pocket. If you guys have a high deductible, high copay, you're always going to end up paying more most of the time if you go through that contracted rate. If you know you're not going to meet your deductible, then cash is always an option, and you have no strings attached. You have no strings attached to that durable medical equipment provider, where they're just going to bombard you with CPAP supplies or whatever you signed in that fine print. You don't have to worry about that when you pay cash. And always make sure that you guys have a copy of that prescription as well. It's so difficult to get prescriptions from doctors, especially if you have an emergency situation where you need equipment or you need a machine. So always have that as a backup as well. Make sure you get a new machine. My other videos, I show you guys how to check the blowers hours out on there. Remember, when these are getting turned back in, they're not being thrown in the wastebasket. They're being fleeted out to other people. Don't give out your social security number. As soon as you give out your social security number and you have a billing discrepancy, they can negatively affect your credit. I've seen it so many times in this industry. I've heard so many horror stories from patients that walk through that door that tell me they got screwed with their credit score because they gave their social security number. Which leads me into don't ever give out your credit card number either if you do not have to. Because even if you have a billing discrepancy or you disagree with it, again, make sure you read the fine print when you go in there, because whatever you sign, that company can turn it over to the credit card company and say, you signed up for this, you have to be billed out for this. You're not going to be able to do a chargeback with your credit card to get that money back. Don't sign up for endless resupply orders. Like we went over the machine and all the materials and how often you can get this. If you guys love that, please feel free to do so. But for most of us, we don't change out our supplies that often. I have so many people that walk through that door that have boxes of supplies, boxes and boxes of supplies they constantly get that is unneeded. So what the smartest patients that we've had here did was they told us, take us off of the resupply schedule and I will call you when I need supplies. A pro tip I'm going to give you guys right now that I've used for the past 10 years is when I use a CPAP mask, I got my tubing, I have my humidifier, I always have a backup of exactly what I'm using. So when it fails, when I need to replace it, I have it right then and there. I don't have to worry about calling for a resupply. Always have a backup in my house. That being said, you guys will save more money that way instead of having endless supplies coming in, especially if you're paying with them with a high deductible or copay. Don't ever pay more than $500 or $600 if you are going to pay out of pocket for a brand new CPAP or auto CPAP machine. If you guys are on a more complex therapy like BiPAP or an ASV, of course you're going to pay a lot more. You may pay double, triple, quadruple in some instances on those sophisticated machines, but that's normal. Don't ever take a brand script for a CPAP. Ask for a generic script. If your doctor has a recommendation for a mask or a certain machine, have them write it on the back of the prescription. So oftentimes when I see sleep labs brand out scripts, I've seen manufacturers use that against places like ours where they charge premium pricing for having that type of relationship where you're forced in order to use our product. So what does that mean? That means if you're going to pay out of pocket, it means you're going to pay much more money for that brand versus the other brands who are trying to compete in that marketplace, in that geographic location. It's not an even playing field, not here in Western Massachusetts. Try going through a mom and pop place, sort of like our place or something similar to it. Usually when you hit smaller HMEs and DME companies, they tend to have staff there that will take the time to help you, to put you through the process, and usually the same people are there week in and week out. They really don't have a revolving door. Make sure you guys get a 2-year warranty on your CPAP machine. Oftentimes manufacturers may have a rule of thumb that after 2 or 3 months after ordering that machine, the warranty starts then and there. So if you, for instance, if you have a machine that's been sitting on a shelf for a year and 3 months, that machine may only have 1 year left on the warranty. So make sure you get a machine that has a 2-year warranty. When you guys are going through that HME or DME, try to make a connection or a relationship with somebody there. Usually you guys can tell who's more receptive than other people. There are people who are just going to want to shove you in and out of there, and there are people that are actually going to care, that are going to spend the time with you, no matter how much time it is, to make sure that you are successful on that device. If you guys aren't going to use the machine for at least 4 hours every night and you're going through insurance, it does not make sense to go through your insurance company. Insurance companies require compliance, and if you're not using it for at least 4 hours every night for most days of the month, the insurance will no longer pick up this and then either return this machine or pay the contracted rate towards that rental of equipment. Make sure you guys join CPAP Nation. We have several thousand members in there, and it's incredible. It's incredible. As soon as somebody posts that, all the comments, it's flooded with comments, instantly almost, from people just like you who need help, who have questions, through people who have been through your same process. Last but not least, if you guys want the biggest discounts on Philips Respironics and Fisher & Paykel equipment, make sure you use my company, USA Medical Supply. You can call us, you can email us. If you're in the area, please stop by. We would love to see you. And on one final note, guys, I want to say that in April of 2021, we will be opening a 13,500 square foot facility on Riverdale Street in West Springfield. It will be one of the largest walk-in medical supply and CPAP supplies in the United States. So if you guys are in the area before then, stop by our place on Memorial Ave in West Springfield, 340 Memorial Ave. If you're coming in after April 2021, come see us on 1779 Riverdale Street in West Springfield, Massachusetts. I'm always there. I'm always here. Have a healthy and happy New Year 2021. I hope you guys have a much better year than you did in 2020. 2020 can't end fast enough. I look forward to seeing you guys in 2021. All right, sleep well and God bless.